parts seller for the Corvette is ready to be picked up at the terminal. So this item was too heavy to be shipped by UPS or FedEx. It's got to be a couple $100. So let's go head over to the receiving terminal, get the item, and then I'll reveal it when I pick it up. Alright guys, we're approaching the terminal. You might be able to see a little bit of the skyline of Charlotte. Depends on the trees, but we're on the north side of town and we are going to where all the industrial like terminals and stuff are. Alright guys, I think we're here and let's get our item. Item loaded up. Some of you might have been able to tell what it is, but keep the suspense a little bit longer. Some of you may not know what it is, so won't ruin it for anyone. But a couple £100, like I said. Guy had to use a forklift to get it in the back of the truck, and let's head home and open this little package up, and we'll show you guys what I got. Alright guys, we're back in the shop from the terminal. Let's get this package opened up and let's reveal what it is. Alright guys, before I fully unpackage this, I will say one thing. These guys did a much better job packaging this than my diff. So let's get this sucker open. Alright guys, if you didn't know what this is already, let's go by the front label. It says Tremec. This is a Tremec T56 transmission out of a 2006 to 2008 Corvette. Let's get this thing fully unpackaged. So here you go. I got a new to me Tremec T56 transmission. So you guys might be wondering why I have another T56 transmission. Well, like I said, this is a 2006 to 2008 Corvette T56 transmission. And the 9Z51, so like the base model Corvettes and the Z06 had the same gear ratio. So this actually has the Z06 gears in it. And basically why I have this transmission is because I need it for a few things. First, I'm going to upgrade this because when I'm doing the quarter mile, as you guys have seen in my previous videos, I've kind of complained a little bit that I always have to shift into fourth right before the quarter mile. Well, I did a lot of research and come to find out the Z51 gearing in my car has a really tight first through third gear pack, and then the fourth gear, it drops way down. So like I actually watched my videos in the past before I even decided to pick up this project. Like I was shifting at like 6,800, and then you know in top of third gear, and then when I shift to fourth, the car would drop literally between like 4 to 4,300 RPM, like way down. Like it should be, you know, down. Like when it's below 4, it should be fourth gear should be like shifting into like I don't know 5,000 because the car revs at 7, you know, 6,800. So if it put that fourth gear closer to the end of third gear, you know, the car wouldn't have that shifting issue going into, you know, crossing the line. So I think with this new transmission setup, I'll be able to get through the quarter mile and not have to shift into fourth at the end. Could be wrong, but it'll be something like that. Plus, in my research, I found out that a lot of guys call the Z51 trans an autocross trans. Like the first 3 gears is like pretty much all you're going to hit on an autocross. That's why they're really tight. Kind of another fact that I found that, you know, I didn't know that that transmission specifically had like those gears were so super tight on the first 3. So with this, I'll have that 3 to 4 gear change will be, it won't drop so down like that. There won't be such a wide spacing between 3rd and 4th. I'm actually going to show you a video clip next of me actually having the shift right into 4th, right at the end of the quarter mile. As you guys just saw, the RPMs dropped way down, like right before the quarter mile, and you could hear the car's not making any power. I mean, it's making power, but you can actually hear it like go, you know, it's not in its peak power band going through the trap. So hopefully this kind of gives you a visual explanation of why I'm going to be going to this new transmission. But so the first reason was the gearing. So the second reason is actually this bell housing extension right here. Now, this piece from General Motors is like $500, it's pretty much $600. And one company is actually selling that piece, I think it's Eckler's is selling that piece for like almost $800. Like, that's ridiculous. So I'll tell you what I paid for the transmission. I only paid $800 for the transmission. You know, I was looking into my options of buying just this tailhouse part and using my existing transmission, and it's just not worth it. Like, I didn't see the reason why I should spend like $800, $700 when I can go get a whole transmission for $800. So I've got a few options here. Bare minimum, what I'm going to be using out of this transmission will at least be this tail housing piece, because, you know, like I said, this piece from General Motors is like $600, and I got the entire transmission for $800. So that's one option. Literally just use it for parts. Just disassemble the back and use that. The second option is actually to take the front assembly off of my existing transmission, because this transmission does not have the cooler, doesn't have the pump assembly for the transmission cooler setup. So I'm kind of limited in what I can do. I either have to swap the tailhouse shaft and put it onto my existing transmission, that way I can keep all of the transmission cooler parts, or I can take my transmission apart, take all the gears out, take that front pump assembly, take all that, and gut it. You don't use anything inside the transmission besides that pump assembly for the cooling system, or the transmission cooler system, and swap the tail housing off this transmission onto that transmission and swap the gears. Another option would be to actually use this transmission, swap the front bell housing assembly where the pump is, swap those, and drill and tap this transmission case for the cooler. But the problem with that is I don't know if there's anything different inside the transmission where those holes go and those lines. Like, I don't know if there's a fitting, I don't know if there's a pipe that, you know, promotes fluid going from the cooler into the trans. I'm just not sure. I don't know what the optimum setup would be for that. So my last option, which is probably what I'm going to end up doing, is kind of just leaving my transmission in the car, taking the tail shaft housing off this transmission, bolting it onto that transmission, and then I could use the new C6 diff that I have. So the final option, which is probably what I'm going to end up doing, is leaving the T56 Z51 trans in the car, take the tail shaft housing off this transmission, and just do that swap and keep this as a backup, as a core. I don't know. I've actually been thinking about building up the Z06 transmission, but I'm gonna have to take out both transmissions. If I get the transmission built, I'm taking out both trans and sending them up to Tick Performance up in Mount Airy, North Carolina. They're like an hour and a half from here, give or take. And I would take the best of all the parts and put together the Z06 trans with my Z51. So this trans with my Z51 case, that way I've got all the cooling crap on it, and the Z06 rear tail shaft housing. Because I need to use this to be able to use my diff. Now I know the diff, you guys have seen it. I'm still working on it. I'm still waiting on parts, but I'm not sure what's going to happen with that. So like I just went over, I have a bunch of options. I'm not really sure which one I'm going to go with. I just need to have all my parts and everything lined up before May, because that's when the North Carolina half-mile event is. It's a want and go fast event. It's an hour east of Charlotte. I think they label it as Charlotte, but it's not in the Charlotte area. It's east of here. It's east of Monroe by like 30 miles, so it's pretty far east. And I think that's what we're gonna do. Get some kind of transmission set up for that event. Probably gonna end up with the Z51 stuff with the Z06 rear part. I'm not sure, but we'll see. So that's kind of the long-term goal, is to get this car set up for that, but we'll see. So I've talked way too much about this transmission, and you know, kind of made this vlog it was supposed to be a vlog, but kind of turned informational. So I'm gonna end this there. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, give it a big thumbs up. If you haven't already subscribed, please do. Thanks and have a great day.